What's goody, main man, made man here. Y'all know how we get down. We talking boxing, fresh on the live stream, off the random live stream here, man. I thought I'd get on here and vibe with y'all tonight, man. Talk a little boxing, kind of clear up some things, man, that has been going on with my vids and some things that I kind of put out there. I like to put some clarifications out there, and we're going to get this thing straight, man. So for those who just tuning in, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we're going to get straight to it, man. Y'all see the title of the vid. Errol Spence, is he ready for this level? Now, about a day ago, I did a video, still in my archives, and where I basically, we looked at the face-off between Errol Spence and Kell Brook. And I caught a moment in which when they were faced off to one another, and when Kell Brook stated that, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. And it seems like we got a reaction from Errol Spence that was a little out of character. That was a little different. You know what I'm saying? And when I seemed to brought that to some people's attention, a lot of people thought I was tripping. So we're gonna see. Now, on the title of that video, I asked the question: is Errol Spence, did he get spooked? And what I meant by that, first off, I'm not gonna sit here and down anything that Errol Spence has ever done. I'm not one of those guys. Errol Spence is a dynamic fighter to me. He's done everything right. And there's very little criticism that you can really give of Errol Spence. Realistic. It's just being 100. Can't really give him much criticism. But the one question that everybody is asking themselves is he ready for this level? Is he the real deal? Is he what everybody says he is, right? That's the question. So when you see signs on the way to the mountaintop of boxing, when you see signs of cracks in his game, you gotta question that. You gotta ask yourself, because that's the only last remaining question and last remaining piece to the puzzle that we want to know of Errol Spence. So at this level, it's not so much that Errol Spence is afraid of Kell Brook. I don't think in any way he's afraid of Kell Brook. But at this level, at this height of boxing, when you've never been there before, it can overwhelm you at times. And on the elite level against a champion, that can be all that can be needed to really mess things up for you. And that's what I was mainly trying to emphasize in that particular video. Now, it can't give you, if you see more of things like that, if you see more of it in future face-offs and future confrontations and future press conferences, any vulnerability in interviews, that's the thing that people are going to point out about Errol Spence. And it's legit. It's totally legit. You know, and that's the only criticism that you can have of Errol Spence. Now, we've seen Kell Brook at this level. We know Kell Brook can perform at this level in front of the masses, in front of the cameras, the lights, the glitz, the glamour. But we don't know that about Errol Spence. And for that to be not even the biggest press conference or whatnot, or event, for that to not to even be that big and to seem to stumble in that moment right there, man, it just makes me question things, man. Am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for that? So for those who haven't seen it, go back and watch the vid. It's just like a 50-second vid, and it just begs the question at that moment: did Errol Spence stumble? Because, you know, in this fight, and if you look at the comments on all the face-off vids, they all say Kell Brook looks shook. Everybody is saying that. I ain't seen a comment section yet based on that fight that ain't nobody said that. So, what, you know, I don't, after watching that face-off now a few times, I don't think Kell Brook was shook. I don't think Kell Brook was shook. My initial reaction to that, because somebody pointed this out to me in that video, my initial reaction to that, I stated that before the face-off, I thought Kell Brook looked like he had those wandering eyes, the same way that Amir Khan had right before he fought Canelo Alvarez. And I said that. But I didn't think in the face-off that Kell Brook was intimidated by Errol Spence by far, as a lot of other people think he was. I don't think so. Listening to the words that were coming out of Kell Brook's mouth, trying to get Errol Spence to keep the focus on him in the eyes. I heard him whisper at one time, you know, look at me in my eyes. Those are big things. Old school guy like me gonna point that shit out, man. So come fight night, I hope Errol Spence doesn't buckle under the pressure, because I want to see a great fight. And I give Errol Spence a hell of a chance to win this fight. I haven't gave a prediction for this fight yet, so don't go out nobody wrong with that. But I will give a prediction for this fight soon. But I give Errol Spence a hell of a chance of winning this fight. But showing cracks in this game like that can speak volumes when it's an unknown thing about Errol Spence. And that's all I'm saying, folks. And that's all I'm saying. That's some real shit. That's some real shit. But in other boxing news, Andre Ward, #1 pound for pound, kind of shook some people up. I want to kind of elaborate on that for a brief second if I can. I don't think Andre Ward should be #1 pound for pound. But if he is, I'm not upset with it, because if he ain't #1, in my opinion, I still had him at a very close #2. I mean, the argument for me would be for Gennady Golovkin. But because of what Gennady Golovkin has been doing recently in boxing, the victory over Sergey Kovalev for Andre Ward, does it trump what Gennady Golovkin has been doing? That's the question, and that's debatable, man. That's a tough one. The victory over Sergey Kovalev as opposed to Gennady Golovkin's victory over Daniel Jacobs. Gee. Then you say Andre Ward's, he went on the bum hunt but he did fight Sullivan Barrera, but all the rest of those bums. Then he won 3 titles with Sergey Kovalev. And then on Triple G fought Kell Brook, which was a welterweight. It's tough. It's real tough, man. Even when Gennady Golovkin facing a welterweight, and given what Andre Ward done in this last fight and the magnitude of his victory, that's the thing that may hurt Gennady Golovkin in a lot of people's eyes, man. But I don't know, man. I just think, it's just so close. And that's why I can't say I'm mad that they gave it to Ward. You know what I mean? I just can't say that. And that's my point. I agree with that comment. If Errol Spence have a moment like that on fight night, that is going to be devastating. Coming out amongst those screaming fans, coming out with those bright lights, those cameras. Yo, that and pausing and stalling or getting caught in it in that moment in the headlight, that can be the devastating thing for Errol Spence. That is the thing that we don't know about Errol Spence. And not to mention the other unknowns of what happens once he gets touched by a proper puncher. That's another thing that ain't, you got to ask yourself also. Because I like I said before, I'm not here to say anything bad about Errol Spence. But his opposition, Chris Algieri, Leonard Bundu, I see Chris Algieri as a former champion. I see Leonard Bundu as an experienced fighter. I'm not going to go on that line and say that they're bums. I'm not going to do that. But they are soft punches. And what happens once Errol Spence gets touched is another golden question. And these are legit questions. And people need to stop acting like when you say something questionable about Errol Spence and you ask a question that you are going against this kid. No one's going against this kid. But there are unknowns at this level. And it's legit. It's totally legit. I agree with that. I mean, Ward did beat the so-called boogeyman. And like I said before, by Gennady Golovkin facing Kell Brook, what did that do for him in the pound-for-pound rankings? And that's what's something that people got to ask themselves. If Gennady Golovkin would have perhaps maybe got like Daniel Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders, then it would have been no question about it. But by him going to face Kell Brook, a welterweight, which I understand, you know, from Kell Brook's end more so, but from Gennady Golovkin's end, it just looks like a pure money grab. It just looked like a pure easy fight to pick for a bag of money. And what Andre Ward did, man, some may say it trumps the Jacobs fight, it trumps the Kell Brook fight. You know what I mean? What Andre Ward received in those fights, this was the dude that everybody did say would beat Ward, regardless how you feel about the fight. And y'all know my feelings on the fight. But I'm just saying, regardless how you feel, this was the man that they said was going to do it. And he didn't do it. And on top of that, Andre Ward still undefeated. Even though he didn't face James DeGale, nor Badu Jack, or George Groves at 168, which I would have liked to see. I remember the talk at that time being Andre Ward would have gotten nothing as far as his popularity and everything like that is concerned by fighting those dudes. I do recall people saying that. And so he went up in weight. And plus the thing, he worked out with HBO, so he went up in weight. But I would have liked to see him face DeGale, Jack, or Groves. I would have loved to see him square off against that. He didn't do that. And he didn't get a really quality victory at 168 for a minute. And what Gennady Golovkin has been doing, given that, I don't know, man, given the David Lemieux fight, then turning around, I mean, the Kell Brook fight really hurt him, man, in the pound-for-pound rankings, y'all. And that's the only really criticism that's legit you can say about Gennady Golovkin. And for those who say Andre Ward just surpassed that, I can't deny that. I can't deny that one bit. Can't deny that one bit. No matter how we feel about, see, people get caught up in the notion the way that Gennady Golovkin is winning and say he's this, that, and he should be this, that, and the third, forgetting about the quality and the caliber that he's winning against. And I'm sorry for the health of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why this thing just started lunching, but I don't know, man. People forget, man. It's not all about how Gennady Golovkin was winning, but it's who he's winning against, and that's very important. So that's very, very important, man. That's true. SOG has done that. Next is going to be Adonis Stevenson. The cause is going to, if he goes back and if he beats Sergey Kovalev in his rematch, Adonis Stevenson's name is going to be yelled from the rooftops. Oh, he needs to fight Adonis Stevenson, which is legitimate. He should fight Adonis Stevenson if he gets through Sergey Kovalev. But like I said before, man, his argument for #1 pound for pound is strong over Gennady Golovkin and anyone else that you're going to say other than those two. Your argument has to be very, very strong. I don't see anyone outside of Gennady Golovkin and Andre Ward battling for #1 and #2. Sergey Kovalev just lost. Manny Pacquiao ain't had a major victory of that level. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But for those who just getting here, I want to put something out there. I want to put something out there one more time. I addressed the video that I did a couple days ago based upon the Errol Spence and Kell Brook face-off, in which I said Errol Spence looked a little shook. I want to give a shout-out to Travis Gotti Boxing. He timed this thing. He said this thing took 7.5 seconds before Errol Spence said another word. And right after Kell Brook said, you're going to get hurt. And like I said before, I'm not saying he's afraid of Brook, but I am saying in that moment, he got took in the back by Brook. Caught him off guard and knocked him off his square a little bit. And that showed, that's the vulnerability that showed and that cannot show on fight night. So I wanted to clear that up mainly with this video. I know the stream health is not that good for some reason, man. It's kind of storming outside, so maybe that got something to do with it. But it's still, like I said before, man, you know, I'm not saying he's afraid of the dude, but he can't get caught like that on fight night or any other portions of this fight because people are going to notice it and criticize it. And he's going to hear that shit and it's going to fuck with him. I'm telling y'all, man. And in no shape, form, or fashion, and I'm not saying Errol Spence is a shook, scared fighter. But in that moment, he got taken back and he got a little razzled. Go back and watch it for yourself. His whole body language changed. His whole body language changed. He got taken back and he looked at him as if he was looking at him like, did you just say what I think you just, like, that's the way it knocked him off his square a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to look at that tape for yourself, man. If Brook is not 100% sorry for your luck, this is the fight game, and we will know because Brook will pull out of the fight like he's done before. I don't think Brook's pulling out of this, man. You know, as far as at least coming from the Brook and Eddie Hearn camp, Brook is on target as far as weight-wise, right? We'll see. That is of concern, but I mean, like you said before, and you got to give it to him his credit. He's never not made weight, so at least not officially. You know what I mean? They've changed. He's fought at a different weights, but he's never not just officially made weight. Like in the Carson Jones rematch, it was at a heavier weight. You know what I'm saying? So he's never not made weight. I don't see him backing out of this fight. Medically, if y'all wondering, can he hide behind this medical thing? I think if he tries to do it, the IBF will probably strip him. So I don't think he want to mess around with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't at this point, especially by him calling out other fighters and saying Manny Pacquiao and Amir Khan and all these other dudes. You can't say you're on record clearly that you were willing to fight these dudes, not concerned about your eye and all this other stuff, or weight for that matter. And it's a difference when it comes down to Errol Spence. It's just not going to be a good look. It's just not going to be a good look. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, like I said, man, Errol Spence getting caught in the lights. That's the unknown. Will he or won't he? This, oh good, the stream help is good again. This face-off was at the first press conference, like the first little event. And that happens. And that happens. I mean, I'm sorry. And then Errol Spence went back to saying like his slogan, man down, man down. Okay, we hit. We know, man down, man down. We got it. But what Kell Brook said, it stung him. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. It stung him. Man, I'm keeping the third eye for injuries for Kell Brook, man. Like I said before, I don't think Kell Brook in any shape, form, or fashion backs out of this fight at all. Hey, I appreciate that, Mox MBE. I appreciate that, my man. Real talk, man. I appreciate you, man. Long time subscriber. I see. I really appreciate you. Real talk. Appreciate all the subs, man. Real talk. But I had to clear up this vid, man. Like I said, man, how is it that Errol Spence was talking the entire face-off until Kell Brook said that? And just like my main man Travis Gotti said, it took this dude 7.5 seconds to talk again. It don't add up. It don't add up. It's not a reach. And for those who say that, it's not a reach. It's just that with people who look at the sport, you observe the sport, you notice these things. And this is the things that I'm looking for in Errol Spence. And you should be too, because that's the only thing that we don't know. We know he has power. We know he has a high boxing IQ. He's beaten former champions. He's beaten experienced fighters. Everybody said, okay, he hasn't beaten a power puncher. But the fact is, he's beaten still. I mean, well, look at the point he had in his career. What he had, 21, what is he, 21-0 or something like that? Errol Spence, at the point in his career, man, he's doing damn good. They're bringing him along damn good. And though he hasn't been in there with the power punches, I mean, he's still young. He shouldn't have took major damage on the way coming up. But it's still questionable. And just like him being on the stage, it's questionable. And it's legitimate. And that's all I'm telling people. Everybody got a game plan till they get hit. Classic. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. And it's going to be, don't think, I'm not looking at how Kell Brook's punch resistance is going to be to Errol Spence. But if he went that many rounds with Golovkin, and let's not forget, Golovkin did not drop Brook. Golovkin injured Brook. He didn't drop Brook. If he can stand up to Golovkin's punches, then he can stand up to Errol Spence's punches. I mean, I don't know how long. I don't know how much Errol Spence connects over as opposed to what Golovkin did. But I'm just saying, if Kell Brook did not hit the canvas, though he was in trouble early, say what you may, Golovkin carried it, whatever the hell, say what you may. But the fact is, he stood in there and he did not hit the canvas against Gennady Golovkin. Errol Spence has been in there with no one that hits like that. Errol Spence been in there with no one that hits like Porter. Kell Brook was able to hold Porter. Porter is a 150. He can fight at 154. And don't think he can't. That speaks a lot. So the strength advantages are a bit even. And these are the things that you can only really say about this fight. Because each fighter is at a level where they have very little criticism about it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Noel, I see you. Let's see if Spence can handle the bright lights and big crowd. It's going to be a hell of a Brook show. That's the big question. Noel, that is the big question. Can he take this level? Can he walk out there with 30,000 screaming fans? And looking at that tape, getting rattled right there at that moment that I'm talking about, I'm telling you, that's just a crack. That's just a little peak. That's just a little bit. If Brook is smart, he plays with that. He plays with that. Hopefully he sees that online and he plays with that, man. Real talk. And he uses that because it even rattles a lot of the Errol Spence fans. Oh, you reason you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. If this was any other fighter, you would be saying the same thing. Real talk. Real talk. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he held his own against Gennady Golovkin. And that's the thing. And so we know that Errol Spence is going to not just walk through Brook as he's done in those other dudes. And we don't know what Brook's punch resistance will be. But like I said before, if he's taking it from a 160 boogeyman, the 147 boogeyman should be tolerable also. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see, man. Injuries will play a part in this. I mean, it's just so many factors that neither fighter, is so many unknowns in this fight, and that's what makes this fight so even better and so intriguing. The injury status of Brook. Is Brook cutting this weight okay? Is he having much of a problem cutting his weight? The Errol Spence factor, the level. Can he perform under these lights? Can he perform in 30,000 in a foreign country? And if either man overcomes this fight, the story to tell afterwards is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be said that the winner of this fight is possibly, I mean, you can't put them in front of Keith Thurman. I don't care who wins this fight. I'm still going to not put either fighter ahead of Keith Thurman and what he's done at the welterweight division as opposed to what these two have done. I mean, what Kell Brook has done at welterweight compared to what Thurman has done, if he gets through Spence, it's questionable. But I'm still willing to possibly right off the bat give it to Keith Thurman. He still remains #1 no matter who wins this fight. But they got to square off. Whoever wins this fight got to square off with Thurman. As long as Thurman is who he is, if he doesn't choose to fight one of his mandatories in Lamar Peterson or even the winner of Berto and Porter. So however that works out, I'm hoping that they get Keith one-time Thurman. Okay, I'm getting a little tired of people saying that Brook didn't get dropped by Triple G. The fight was stopped early. Triple G is bigger, so it stands to reason Triple G hits harder. But Triple G doesn't body punch as effectively. Okay, that's very true. He doesn't body punch as effectively, which would have been also, if he would have done that against Brook, he probably would have got him out of there a little earlier, but he didn't do it. And so, but the thing is, he didn't drop Brook. You can say what you want, but he didn't drop Brook. And not to mention, he took damage from a welterweight. If the fight would have went on longer, I don't know if you're saying with the injury or against the injury. I'm not sure. If the fight would have went on longer, we don't know. We just don't know, man. Triple G could have gassed out. You can't say Triple G's tank was on actual full or half tank at that point in the fight. He exerted himself a lot in the early portions of that fight, and he still did not drop Brook. Say what you want. Without the injury, even with the injury, he didn't drop Brook. Brook was on the ropes. He was fading. He was going. But we don't know. And I don't knock the fact that his corner stopped that fight. I'm glad that they did. Real talk. What's up, Hassan? What's going on, man? Yeah, man, I had to get up here and talk about that vid, man, that I did the other day, man. I just wanted to clear that up. About people saying, man, hey, I had to let people see that Errol Spence got a little rattled in a moment in that first press conference. I hope you've seen that vid, man. And I really believe that's a crack. And we will see if that develops into a pattern of things to come. Real shit. Real shit. Spence is shitting it. Fighting some 1-year-old own size and making weight is all he had. Triple G is 5'10" and a monster. Brook will knock out Spence. Enough said. I mean, it's yeah. It's possible. Don't say that. Don't act like the possibility ain't on the table. Can Brook knock out Spence? Sure. Can Spence knock out Brook? Sure. And that's what makes this fight so awesome, because those possibilities definitely exist. And I want to know how Spence react once he's hit early. I really want to know this. Everybody's like, Spence is going to go to Brook's body. That sounds like the ABC roadmap right there, right? Like that all should be how it goes. But we don't know what happens if he gets touched by a right hand, which Brook says he performs very well against southpaws. I take him at his word on that. And it is a vulnerable thing of southpaw against a conventional fighter. Right hands galore. We don't know what happens if one of those right hands land. How he performs afterwards. What does he get more cautionary? Because I ain't never really seen Spence too cautionary. You know what I mean? So how cautionary does he fight Brook? Look, Daniel Jacobs just dropped Peter Quillen in his last fight, correct? Well, look at the way he fought Golovkin. Because he know Golovkin can touch him. And he knew what would happen if Golovkin touched him too much. Well, that's going to happen to Errol Spence. And these are the unknowns. And for those who say that Errol Spence, we don't know what happens if he takes a punch, it's totally legitimate. It's totally legitimate because these are unknowns. And I ain't saying he can't take a punch. I ain't saying he can't get hit with a strong punch and stay in rhythm. I'm not saying he can't. We don't know. We don't know. But in Brook's case, we know. The evidence is all on tape. And that's all I'm saying. I actually think he got dropped in the first or second round by GGG. Just the ref called it a slip. Nah, that was a slip, man. Come on. I wrote that. That was a slip. Now GGG did have him hurt early. I will say that. But I don't want to revisit too much of that fight, man. You got to use that fight as a reference for the Spence fight, because the #1 thing that people say about Spence is his power. And he has this devastating power. He can hurt Brook to the body. Well, Brook has been in there with a power puncher, and that power puncher didn't easily hurt. I mean, he hurt Brook, but Brook didn't easily just go down or lay down. I thought Brook was hurt in the first 10 seconds of the fight. It could have been over within the first half an hour, but he got out of there and he stayed on his feet and he stayed alive. And that tells a story within itself. What happens if that happens to Spence? You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. And that's what we're looking for. But if that question gets answered early on in the fight, if he walking through right hands and he's still coming, Brook gonna have a long ass fucking night. And that's being real shit. Triple G's face was busted up after Brook. He got power with slick skills. Ask yourself, Kell Brook. Yeah, and see, that's what I mean. And because you know what, man? Like I said, and people didn't like me saying this, but I thought that's the reason that Danny Jacobs edged it out, because one of the reasons that Triple G showed one Triple G. It was like 1G. It wasn't Triple G. It was 1G. He came as the same style, flat-footed fought. He didn't change up any portions of the fight. And it's the same way he fought Kell Brook. It's the same way he fought. Only person that he fought a bit differently was David Lemieux. I give him that. The Lemieux fight, the head movement, he was coming in behind the jab. But other than that, man, like Triple G was so one-dimensional. And that's why he got knotted up with Brook. Because Brook he didn't change up. He just kept coming forward, trying to bum rush Brook. Brook was tagging him, bow, uppercuts, bow, all kinds of shots, bow, bow. But Brook's punch resistance was not there against Gennady Golovkin. And Gennady Golovkin knew that shit. And clearly Gennady Golovkin's was. But the thing is, man, I mean, he's one-dimensional. He's so one gear. He's so 1G. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. It's just messed up. But yeah, that was a slip, Hassan, man. That was a slip. That was a slip totally, man. And Errol Spence is saying that, you know, Kell shouldn't be talking much about the Triple G fight because he lost, which is true. But for those who criticize and trying to see what Kell Brook can and cannot do, for those who want to say, well, Errol Spence can do this and do that, well, true, he can do that. He can do those things, but this is what Kell can do. And this is all it is. And if Errol Spence answers what Kell can do, It's over. It's over. I'm telling you that right here on the stream. If Kell Brook can't effectively keep Errol Spence at bay and make him respect him, if you will, if he can't make Errol Spence respect him, it's going to be tough for Kell Brook. Because Kell Brooks, even when he moves his head, he just leans back. That's so dangerous against a dude. He leans back. He doesn't really move. He moves his feet, but then he stops and he leans back. You know what I'm saying? He rather use his head movement in that fashion. And against a dude like Spence, who once you lean back and he's going to double jab up top and come down low, that's going to be tough, man. I'm telling you. So Brook has got to time his right hands perfectly, man. And it's going to, and if it's not phasing Spence with the right hands and whatever he's hitting Spence with as he's coming in, if Spence is eating it, long night for Kell Brook. Real shit. It's not so much the power that Spence Jr. has, it's more the speed that GGG didn't have. Spence Jr.'s speed could be the only factor. He has very good, very respectable speed. But one thing that Spence doesn't have, I think he gets over credit for, is his jab. I think his jab is very inaccurate. You look at a lot of his fights, his jab is more of a measuring, feel you out, let me get next to you jab. You know, then he's coming to land at that big hand upstairs or downstairs, or whichever way he's looking to come. And but he's always doubling in his jab, but it's never really that accurate. It's not a popping jab, it's a measuring jab. And then he's looking to come in, you know what I'm saying? And with Errol Spence, man, that is his power. He just said it becomes, you can see it coming. You can see it coming, but a lot of his opponents just didn't have the ability to counter properly or standing there and look for the openings on Errol Spence. Something that Kell Brook will do. Real talk. It's the punch that you don't see that can get you knocked out, not so much the power. Yeah. Yeah, and see Errol Spence swings a lot downstairs, meaning that he starts upstairs and then he comes downstairs. And those are the punches that he talk about can't see, especially if that opponent is expecting that punch to come upstairs. And he does that a lot. He keeps his opponents confused in that manner. And I respect Errol Spence. That's one thing he does. But it becomes very in a pattern. Look at a lot of his. I've been looking at Errol Spence a lot, man. Like I say, good fighter. But he gets into a pattern. Double jab, double jab. The jab is inaccurate, but it's a measuring jab. And he gets close and he comes with the boom. And nobody can take the boom. At least not with too many of those booms. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. But you know, Kell Brook will see that. And it's gonna and like I said before, if he can't get respect from Errol Spence to stop him from coming in willfully, it's gonna be a long night for Kell Brook. It's going to be a very, very long night for Kell Brook. But both fighters just have the tools that they can beat one another. That's why this is truly a 50-50 fight. I do want to say 49-51, Kell Brook. But just for pre-prediction purposes, we'll say this is a true 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Because it brings out the most. But don't get rattled. And that's another factor for Errol Spence. Don't get rattled. Don't get in front of these fans and get rattled. Real shit. Because it can happen. It can happen. So, what else been going on this week in boxing before we get up off here, man? I don't want to hold y'all too long. I want to do some other things pertaining to the channel tonight. Before we roll, the Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin situation. You know, Should Triple G wait for Canelo Alvarez is the golden question. Golden Boy playing games. If Triple G takes a fight in June, then he possibly derails the Canelo fight. Should Triple G wait for Canelo Alvarez or go for the final belt of Billy Joe Saunders? Now, everybody, I'm pretty sure, is going to say go for Billy Joe Saunders, legacy points for the belt, right? That's what everybody's going to say. But guess what? Is Billy Joe Saunders really going to fight Gennady Golovkin? I'm not 100. Listening to how Billy Joe Saunders is taking it, he's basically rushing Gennady Golovkin at this point. Like, if we're going to do it, we need to do it now because I'm trying to cut this weight and I need to get in training camp like today. I need to know if we're going to fight, blah, blah, blah. Just the way that it's been discussed on this end, I don't think he's genuine. And not to mention the way he looked in his previous fight. He looked like garbage. Come on. Let's be real. So, waiting on Billy Joe Saunders is very, very risky. And listening to the Oscar and Canelo, it's just very, very risky. I don't think he should do it. Jamal Charlo is now at the 160-pound division. He will fight Sebastian Hyland, and then he will become a mandatory for Gennady Golovkin, providing Gennady Golovkin with another opponent. I say Gennady Golovkin can do so many other things. Do not stall your career messing with Canelo, because there is no guarantee, and I've said this, there's no guarantee that Canelo will face Triple G at 160. Everybody is thinking that Canelo is now fighting at a higher weight. That's dangerous. Canelo plays with weights. He looks for advantages. If he can fight at another weight that Gennady Golovkin at his late age has not fought at, that's another advantage for Canelo Alvarez. I don't know what that does for the belts. It may even come down to a decision that Gennady Golovkin is going to either have to vacate the titles or face Canelo Alvarez. I can see that type of shit coming in this climate of boxing. So when I heard he was facing Chavez Jr. at this catchweight, which is totally advantageous to Canelo Alvarez, and looked like Chavez serious about making that weight, man. So hopefully he does. But if clearly this is advantageous to Canelo, he's now fighting at a higher weight, and he's going to tell Gennady Golovkin to come up. I'm telling y'all, man. Remember I said that shit, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So I don't think Gennady Golovkin should wait for Canelo. Go for him, proceed with your career. No one's going to, I don't think, hold it against him of him not facing Canelo. Gennady Golovkin has the fan momentum on his side because Canelo dropped that title, and ever since then, I'm with Gennady Golovkin on whatever he decides to do about Canelo Alvarez after that cowardly act, and that's just how I feel about it. Business, whatever y'all did, that's their business. As a fan, I wanted to see that fucking fight, and that's just how it was. You know what I'm saying? Never estimate that. Look what happened in Click. Yeah, you know, speaking of Click, man, you know, I'm about to do a video soon. Y'all gonna be seeing it come out about Klitschko and AJ. And I'm telling y'all, man, I think Klitschko's gonna go out on the Shield. It's gonna be a beautiful, glorious exchange of power in the heavyweight division. I think Klitschko is gonna it's gonna be beautiful to him to try to make this attempt to get this title, but I just don't think it's gonna happen, man. It's just my opinion, but you never know. I don't want to count nothing out in the heavyweight division. You never know. I got a vid coming about that fight, and I got some feelings I want to undisclose about that fight. Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua, man. So also one more thing before I go, yo, about the pound for pound rankings. It's fucked up how they did Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford could easily make an argument for number. I said earlier Triple G and Andre Ward, but number 3. All this should have had Terrence Crawford. Some people are saying he could have been number 1. The argument is valid. The argument is very, very valid that Terrence Crawford could have been number 1. But given that he beat Burns already, you know, I don't know, man. Maybe in Dongo, then he didn't beat Adrian Bronner. There's still some other names, I guess, remaining at the 140 division that Crawford didn't get to. But a lot of people wonder why Terrence Crawford wasn't up there either. But the Andre Ward thing, man, it's really riling some of y'all, man. Real talk. But look here, man. I thank y'all for rocking with me tonight, man. That's this Sunday's live stream, man. You know, I'm gonna do this every Sunday, man. I'm gonna get up here and vibe with y'all, man. I'm just reading some of y'all comments, man. Why is GGG chasing Canelo when they're not even in the same division anymore? GGG should go up. That WBO became undisputed and go up. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I agree with that. I mean, if after he does whatever he does with Billy Joe, if he can get the fight with Billy Joe Saunders, and he'll play games too, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Billy Joe Saunders is talking that talk. I just don't think after his last performance, he's really looking forward to getting in there with Golovkin. I remember his mood and what he was saying after he lost. I mean, he won in that last fight, and he just looked terrible, and he struggled with that dude. I remember how the mode he was in, and it just did not sound like a good dude who was going to get in the ring with Gennady Golovkin. And I just don't think that's going to happen at this time. But if Billy Joe Saunders doesn't face Gennady Golovkin, I don't want him to go up. I would like to see if him and Jamal Charlo can mix it up before Gennady Golovkin goes up. Now that Charlo's at that 160 division, I'd like to see that fight before he goes up. So that's gonna be the show tonight, though, man. I appreciate you. I mean, y'all tuning in tonight, man. I got some other vids to get to tonight. Tuning in for the night for the channel, man. We're gonna do something real cool tonight. Just be on the lookout for that, man. But I wanted to clear up that video. Go back and look at it, man. When Errol Spence got a little rattled in the moments, like 2 videos ago, man. Just a little rattled, man. And he cannot be that way on fight night. I'm telling y'all, man. If he's that way on fight night, we want to have a huge problem, man. Go back and watch that vid. I'm not saying he's scared of Kell Brook, but I'm saying that just one crack in the moment that can speak volumes. And that's all I'm saying. I appreciate y'all chilling with me tonight. Peace out.